My name is Johannes Strasssmann. I live currently in Vienna since 3 years already, and I'm playing poker professionally since around 7 years. I started actually with a very small deposit of $5 and worked my way all the way up to the highest limits online. I'm mostly a heads-up cash game player. I also like to play tournaments and I love PLO. And live poker is actually my specialty because I can use my reading abilities. Basically in 2008 I picked up live tournaments, and it was a very interesting and inspiring time in my life because I did a lot of traveling. Just after a while I sensed all this tournament circuit lifestyle is not so much for me, and I rather prefer traveling actually to non-poker related events, and then for the most time just play cash games at home. And with Card Coach it was a great experience as well. It was my first startup that I ever did. And I learned a lot about how to set up a business, how to actually get it running. It wasn't that great of a success, but I'm very happy anyway that I did it, because it will really help me in the future to start a company on my own. Basically, the whole live poker tournament scene, it's pretty small. You will meet the same regulars pretty frequently. Just when you are over there, you have work almost all the time in your head, and mostly you're not there for vacation. So it's work for the most degree. And the variance is very huge in the tournaments. You have a lot of costs for the hotels and everything else. So I take it more as like a small lottery when I go there that actually has a positive expectation for me when I participate. Just I know that the variance in tournament poker is very big. The best players, they obviously play around 100 tournaments a year or even more, and they're on the road around 200 to 300 days. I know Elke and Marvin Rettenmeier pretty well. And then basically your whole lifestyle and your whole thoughts will just surround around tournament poker. And that's just not for me. I'm really looking into a lot of other things in my life: sports, my friends, my family, and spending a lot of quality time at home working on my self-development. Well, I got very lucky to discover poker. Poker is unique in the sense that you are very independent, very free. You have a lot of money at a young age for actually not working that hard. So it can be overwhelming when you first get into it. And I can actually say I've grown so much by having the opportunity to schedule my time however I want it, and to be able to have a lot of money to travel wherever I like, do the things I really want, and to develop myself in business as well. So I feel poker has been a great stepping stone in order to become completely independent, free, and you could say a free thinker in a way. By far the most money I have made in heads-up cash games online, because I played them since 2007. Nowadays, unfortunately, the action has dried up a lot. So when I'm with my main accounts online, no one will almost play me and everyone will sit out, except the best players online. So there the win rates will be very small and the variance is going to be very high. So I've been switching over more and more to Pot Limit Omaha, and I'm also switching more over to play more live cash games. I play them mostly at King's Casino in Prague and Wrocław. It's my favorite casino in the world. The service is excellent. I have very high cash games. I know the owner well. So overall, I've been transitioning a little bit more to PLO and to live cash games. I'm looking into open-face Chinese poker pretty soon. That's actually what I enjoy the most about poker, to actually meet a lot of interesting people who are very diverse, who come from different backgrounds, who have a different story to tell. So I'm often playing with a lot of really successful businessmen, because when you play high stakes and there's a lot of money involved, obviously only people who actually are successful in the real world can afford to play those games. And I've learned a lot by interacting with them, and has been a really good exchange for me to grow on a personal level and as a businessman. And secondly, it's interesting to also talk to a lot of other young poker players who are looking really to develop themselves, who are using poker as more of kind of like a stepping stone to set up themselves a bigger career in the long run. And for myself, I really have defined what I want later on, and that's more to step away from poker and do something where I'm really fully involved with my heart, something that really has a bigger impact on the world than just playing a card game. Although poker is an amazing game and it's a great hobby, I just feel for a living I don't want to play it all my life. Well, the most obvious change online poker room can make in order that it's more competitive is to limit the amount of tables. So let's say you only have 6 tables and it's more of a king of a hill. So the strongest players are only going to survive. And you basically will have to fight for tables. So that it's going to be a really good change. Another thing that comes to mind, I understand completely that nowadays a lot of players are looking more for the edge because poker has been getting more tough. The edges are getting more slim because of all the knowledge that is out there. And as another part, there's less money coming into the system because a lot of rich guys, they are just playing live poker and they are not that interested in spewing away their money online. So the landscape is changing and people are getting older, more experienced, and they are looking more for financial security as well. So I completely respect that. Just from a standpoint for myself, I really like playing against almost any regulars. Might avoid like around 10 players or so online. So it is definitely a good change for me personally if they would limit the amount of tables and therefore force action on the higher limits. Yeah, online poker regulation in Germany and then worldwide is pretty hard to estimate. In Germany, it seems to be more regulated by the government, and worldwide what will happen in the US market or in China, we can only like see trends, and I'm actually not completely up to date anymore to make there a really good educated statement. I'm not an expert in that matter. It's more when you are really deep into the poker industry and you do a lot of business behind the scenes, and I'm no longer in that world that I can really make an educated guess. It's great if they would make it tax-free for professional players, but that's not going to happen. Secondly, it would be really good if they implement a plan to actually make poker more privately open, that other casinos can grow next to the governmental ones, because live poker in Germany is actually very small and there are not a lot of great casinos there. There are only the governmental ones and they are like really old-fashioned, and it's not like this cool, relaxed American style when you go to Vegas. You're not going to have fun there in those places, and the games are very small and it's not enjoyable to play live poker. So I personally would wish for them to make a private law change and give the licenses to responsible casino owners in Germany. Pius Heim's winning the WSOP main event definitely was a breakthrough in Germany, and for a small period of time everyone talked about poker, and I'm sure it dragged a lot of more young players into poker, getting interested in making such a big amount of money in such a short period of time. Right now, poker is in Germany stable, so it's well known that there are professionals who can earn a living with it, and it's socially accepted. It's not anymore this image that only gangsters, hustlers, and drug dealers are playing it, and it's more like a every day's game. It's not yet up to the like American standard where it's played everywhere. Just it's well received and recognized. The experience coaching Pius Heim was definitely a really good one, and I feel I was able to contribute a little bit to his victory by just giving him a little bit of mental advice, helping him out by offering a good manager, a good coach with Mike McDonald, who prepared him with the ICM for the final table, and just giving him a little bit more of an experience of how it is to actually play at such a big final table. I feel he did a tremendous great job on his own. So everything to Pius for winning the WSOP main event and withstanding the pressure, because it's a very intense situation when you're there, and it can only be imagined under what pressure you are right before there, when you know the difference basically between just making one bad decision and making a good decision can be worth millions, and you might never have the opportunity in your whole life again to make that much money. Right now, if someone wants to really become a professional poker player, I would give them the following advice. First off, be very disciplined, because I have seen a lot of extremely talented players failing because they didn't have proper bankroll management, they don't have any good diet, sports, life balance, you could say. And that way they really tilted a lot and lost all of their money. Another thing to be considerate about is to actually self-educate yourself besides the poker table, because poker is not your whole life. You're not going to get happy just by playing poker. So really maintain contact to your friends, to your family, and work on yourself. Work on sports, have a hobby next to poker that balances you out. And as a third one, look into how long poker will really be profitable. If you're not a big talent right now, better not start playing professionally, because the games are getting tougher, everything is getting more professional. So know what you really get yourself into and be prepared to work hard, work your ass off, and then you can still make a good amount of money. Just don't expect it's going to be easy.